This is Renelle, and welcome to Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and friends. And here he is now, your host, my main man, Rod Brooks.
Thank you very much, Renelle. I am Rod Brooks, and welcome everyone to Quality Hang. And as always, I'm joined on this broadcasting adventure by my partner in crime, my friend, the co-host of Quality Hang. He is Marcus Osborne. What up, dog?
What's happening, man?
So much is happening, and not a lot of it is good, but
following Dame Dash's meltdown with the Breakfast Club the other day, which was hilarious, by the way.
I don't understand it. I don't understand. I mean, Dame Dash is a world-class moron. Okay,
we're just worse every year.
We're just gonna get right into it. Damon Dash is a world-class moron. But I thought we were getting the Breakfast Club out of the paint. I thought we were getting
in there.
Wasn't DJ Envy getting brought up on some fraud charges? And
yes.
Did we all agree, just as a populace, that the dude that calls himself a god is nowhere near that, and sort of a kind of a go with the wind, grifting asshole? Didn't we? Why are we still allowing the Breakfast Club to cook? And why are we sitting there watching this little gossip fest they have going on?
Bigger than ever. Never been this big. Never been this big.
I mean, I just thought that we just got tired of old boy running his mouth saying just all sorts of questionable stuff. And next thing you know, everybody's watching the Breakfast Club because, well, I guess we all like to watch a train wreck.
We do. I love it. But I have to... For me to watch the train wreck, there has to be somebody who I feel like has something interesting to say, either good or bad. Like it has to be somebody with some gravitas to them. I can't watch like a nobody say anything because that's lame.
Yeah, I guess so. I just don't get it, and I guess it's not for me to get. As always, we start the show by thanking our presenting sponsor with us from the beginning, the fine folks at Hop Monk Taverns. 3 locations to choose from: Sonoma, Sebastopol, and in Novato. And at all 3 locations, you get the same great things. Fantastic food from a diverse menu, craft beer selection that is out of this world. And at all 3 Hop Monk venues, it's a great place for live music and live entertainment. And it's not just touring acts from around the country stopping by at Hop Monk. It's a great place for local artists, and it's a great place for the people, because not only could you catch a concert, you could also go to an open mic night or an open mic comedy night or an actual comedy night. One of the locations, there's a Bob Marley tribute going on in a couple of days. So really, whatever you're into, food-wise, beer-wise, drink-wise, and entertainment-wise, you're going to find it at Hop Monk. So to see what they have going on, check them out online at hopmonk.com. Follow them on all the socials. More to the point, if you happen to be around one of the locations of Hop Monk in Sonoma, Sebastopol, or Novato, just drop right on in. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Let's get into the toy department of life, which of course is the world of sports. And we start with the San Francisco 49ers. They are a 1.5 favorites over the also 2-0 Arizona Cardinals. First practice of the week for the Niners today, and the first practice report came out. And you see at the top, Juwan Jennings, they're being very careful with his ankle. Kyle Juszczyk's concussion is a source of concern. He may be back this week, but as we know with concussions, you just don't know until he passes all the tests. So we're still early in the week with that. Spencer Burford's knee is a concern for the Niners because they are thin on the offensive line. An offensive line that performed very well against the Saints on Sunday. But again, the Niners are thin at offensive line, so they are being very cautious with Spencer Burford. Yetur Gross-Matos, isn't he? Gross-Matos has played very well on that Niner defensive front, as they have for the last couple of weeks, especially last week, Marcus, in New Orleans. So his knee issue is one to pay attention to. And Williams, McCaffrey, and Bosa, those three guys, they always get vet days. They always get the first practice of the week off, so there is no concern with that. But let me move this banner here at the bottom. You will see someone who is limited in practice, and it might come as a surprise to all of you. Here's the grand reveal. Limited in practice, Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy was actually able to get out there and practice today, again, in a limited fashion. Here's a little bit of Brock Purdy practicing in a limited fashion. And of course, you're paying attention to his show. And Marcus will run this video one more time. If you're a Niner fan, this is the best news you could possibly get. Watching Brock Purdy move around, albeit in a limited fashion, in the practice of the week today.
Yeah, I mean, they said 2 weeks on the low side, so this would be week 2. So that's actually, it seems about right. Like it seems based on this, of course.
Kyle Shanahan said that there is a chance that Brock Purdy could play on Sunday. I'm going to take a somewhat educated guess and say that that's Kyle Shanahan giving the Arizona Cardinals just a little something extra to think about. Because as good as Brock Purdy looks moving here in a limited fashion in practice today, a couple of things here. And as you mentioned, Marcus, they said 2 weeks on the low. I'm inclined to believe the 2 weeks before Brock Purdy gets in. And as we talked about on Monday, not that the Niners would make any decision based on being, let's just say, making a rash decision, especially when you're talking about a medical situation, even if it is just a toe. The fact that you got a performance like you got from Mac Jones against the Saints, and clearly the Cardinals are a different beast than the Saints, but getting the performance they got from Mac Jones on Sunday lessens the need for anyone to do anything rash like rush Brock Purdy back because you need him to play quarterback, even if he does look good in a limited fashion.
Yep. I mean, I can't dispute any of that.
So it's nice to see this, and it's nice to hear Kyle Shanahan say that Brock Purdy could possibly play. The chances of him, just in my estimation, I think those chances are not zero, but we're not talking about high double digits either.
Yeah, I mean, if you're paying attention at all, you kind of know that Kyle's got to be kind of monkeying around. Even this video is probably a little propaganda.
Absolutely.
Because he ain't really doing nothing. So,
and again, if you're the Arizona Cardinals, you're like, I don't think he's going to play, but just in case. But here's the thing. It's not as if, and we talked about this on Monday as well, clearly that Brock Purdy and Mac Jones are not exactly the same, but the Niners offense does not change from one guy to another. And I think if you're the Arizona Cardinals, you're going to try to do the exact same thing that the Seattle Seahawks did and the Saints did, which is load the box, stop the run game. And if Mac Jones is out there, then you let him sling it 39 times. I'm sure, even though the Arizona Cardinals, and we'll get more into this on Friday when we get the actual game status report, but the Cardinals are very banged up with their secondary. But I guarantee you, if it is going to be Mac Jones, and I think it's going to be Mac Jones, they will be more than happy. And we'll if they suffer the same fate as the Saints, they'll be perfectly fine with that. If Mac Jones throws the ball 39 times, and that's less Christian McCaffrey, or Christian McCaffrey has been slowed down, the Arizona Cardinals will absolutely take that and run with it.
Yeah, I mean, I suspect we may get a much higher dose of CMC this game, just because I think the Cardinals are a better team than the Saints. And I think it's going to be one of those time possession games where they just keep the ball away from the Cardinals offense as long as they can. Why have to put your defense in that position if you don't have to?
And for the Niners, they feel like they're really, really close to having a breakout rushing game. They're really, really close to breaking off a big run with Christian McCaffrey and having the run game be the tip of the spear. And I wouldn't be surprised if it happened this weekend against the Arizona Cardinals. But, for them to do that, obviously a lot of things have to go right, but the Niners have to have success on first down. You go back and rewatch the game against the Saints. They were able to get things cooking offensively, particularly in the second half when they stopped having negative plays on first down or they stopped getting behind the sticks. Once the Niners actually had and it didn't have to be big positive plays, but once they started having positive plays on first down in a row, started stacking those, that's when the offense started moving, and that's when they really started cooking. So if they have that first down success, and a lot of that is going to have to do with their ability to run the ball with McCaffrey and Robinson if he's in to spell McCaffrey. If they're having that first down success, everything's going to flow off of that.
Facts. Like I said, I think you're going to get a big dose of CMC this week. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt, but you're going to get a dose of him.
Well, and they know that there's really nothing they can do about that.
Yep.
As far as him getting hurt, you just have to trust that the work that he's put in to get himself back to tip-top shape. And I think he is. Last week, he looked better than he did in the first week. I think that progression is going to continue, but they have to trust that McCaffrey not only did the work to get back to being one of the best in the NFL, and he's done that, but he's done that work in a smart way, which is something we talked about when training camp started. McCaffrey himself said that he had to, and I'm paraphrasing here, back off the accelerator a little bit in terms of how he goes about getting ready. And we got to week 1. He felt a little something in his calf, said it wasn't that big of a deal, but he was going to be smart about it, told the Niners about it. They were very cautious with him, had him on the injury report. Obviously, he played in week 1. So I'm inclined to believe that McCaffrey is continuing to follow through on his end of the bargain in terms of how he can keep himself healthy so he could be around for the long term.
I mean, simply say that you can't play scared. You got to cut loose. And whatever happens, happens. Like
if you're scared, get a dog.
Yep.
If you're scared, get a dog. Speaking of dogs here, it's time now for Bruh Really, parts of the show where we show you the behavior of an individual that makes you say the same thing Shannon Sharp said when he was walking through the airport with a tiny dog strapped to his chest, and someone was surreptitiously filming him.
Bruh, really?
All right, here we go. Today's episode of Bruh Really, and it is dog-themed. Kyler Murray, the combatant for the Niners this upcoming weekend, posted this picture to his Instagram. Okay. Got himself a pit bull. No surprise there.
Hey, shocking.
He's wearing a jersey. He's wearing Michael Vick's number 7.
Come on, man.
When he was at Virginia Tech.
Purpose. Come on now.
So again, dog, Michael Vick jersey. Clearly, when that hit, there were people who had the exact same reaction you're having right now, Marcus. A mixture of, come on, man, and that's got to be on purpose. And also a lot of this.
Bruh, really?
Okay. So in the grand scheme of things, this is a fairly, if not completely benign photograph.
I mean, for real. That is true. It looks like a 90s hip hop cover.
But the stupidity and the tone deafness of it is what really got people to say, seemingly in unison,
Bruh, really?
Okay, well, Kyler Murray did take to the podium today to explain the picture.
Shape or form do I, condone, animal cruelty or dog fighting, whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
For me personally, y'all saw me wear the Michael Vick jersey, a player that I admire very much growing up. And then, being home with my pup, who, my dog Trunks and Swoosh, they both get treated like kings. So it's not like, I'm in no way, shape, or form am I condoning that. But yes, I saw how it affected people and, decided to take it down.
Oh, so you're just stupid. Oh, okay. All right. All right. Well, that
Listen,
makes sense. All right.
Rod,
It's good.
I don't
There's
want to
nothing
be,
nefarious about it. He's just dumb.
I don't
House
want to be an
plant dumb.
asshole, but we have heard rumors about Kyler for a few years. So it's unfortunate, but there is a possibility that he ain't the brightest dude. He ain't the brightest dude.
What do you mean there's a possibility that he's not?
I-
Clearly, he's not.
I don't want to say specifically because I don't know the cat. I'm just saying the stuff I've heard about him with the playbook and all this stuff the last few years. There's a good chance that the elevator ain't going all the way to the top.
Listen, he has to be watered once a day. That's how dumb he is. Okay. All right. Because only a dumb person, again, understanding that this picture is very benign. Okay. It doesn't matter. But you have to be extraordinarily unintelligent to pose for this picture and not understand the optics. So
not thinking.
Kyler Murray.
This is the danger of your social media accounts. You got to let your publicist see it before it goes anywhere. If you're a public figure, show the picture to your publicist. Hey, Benny, look at this. Am I missing something?
Well,
yeah, you are. You are.
Kyler
Take
Murray
that off and retake that picture.
led millions of people all at the same time to say,
Bro, really?
boy. By the way, Kyler Murray has been a real problem for the San Francisco 49ers. In the two games he played last year, 543 all-purpose yards, so counting his passing yards and his rushing yards, and 6 touchdowns. So this Niner defense, I mean, he gives them fits.
It's a weird. He's not Lamar Jackson, but for some reason, this particular, I guess every team has that guy, person who gives them fits. This is theirs for some reason.
I think a lot of it last year had to do with the defensive scheme that was very reactive instead of proactive. It was 4 down, 7 behind, and there was nothing exotic about it. There was nothing confusing about it. There was nothing that put a quarterback under real stress and duress. It's going to be a whole different set of circumstances this upcoming Sunday because you have a Niner defense that is got studs on all 3 levels with Bosa and Warner and Lenore, and it's got a real nice sprinkling of guys who have been there for a few years who are coming into their own. Thinking of a guy like D. Winters, Arturo Gross-Matos, who I mentioned a little while ago, and then you got a bunch of rookies out there who are clearly stacking good days and stacking good performances on top of each other. So what Kyler Murray saw last year from the Niners defense is going to be vastly improved. I should say this year is going to be vastly improved over what he saw last year. So, and Bosa said it today and after practice talking to the media, they got something for him. And I know this much. Robert Saleh is the type of defensive coordinator. He always has a little something for you. So not only are they going to have the players and the mindset, but they're going to have the scheme and the plan to do something about it. I think it's going to be a tight game. Like I said, we'll get more into it on Friday as far as the X's and O's or whatever. But Kyler Murray running around out there and not feeling any heat, not feeling any pressure, and feeling like anytime he wants to make something positive happen, he can do that. That stops this Sunday with this Niner defense because Robert Saleh is going to bring some funk to him, without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they contain him, and that really is the key, containing him, you won't have a problem. But once he gets out there and starts running around like a madman, well, then you're going to have some issues.
He's got there's some guys in that Niner defense. Contain is not just the physical aspect of doing it, although that's it. It's also mental, understanding what you need to do, not rushing too far upfield, being very disciplined as far as being gap sound, trying not to do too much, doing your job. They've got the guys to do that. And like I said, I think the actual tactical scheme itself is going to be one that's going to frustrate Kyler Murray. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they throw defensively at him, because quite frankly, they need to, because Kyler Murray has at times embarrassed the Niners, particularly with what he was able to do last year. Let's get you a Giants update here real quick, and it is a good Giants update. Giants beat the Arizona Diamondbacks, able to scratch out one game in that 3-game series in the desert. Beat them 5-1 in extra innings. It was tied at 1, and then the Giants scored 4 in the 11th, where they were eventually able to win it. But once again, Marcus, Justin Verlander was the story, and Justin Verlander,
I mean,
right now, he's the ace of this staff. Listen,
we were just having this conversation. He's the guy with experience and know-how.
Logan Webb is your dude.
Mm-hmm.
Robbie Ray is very good, although it looks like Robbie Ray is running out of gas. And Webb and Ray, their last 2 starts against the Dodgers this weekend left a lot to be desired. But everybody's performance left a lot to be desired. But when we're talking starting pitching, you didn't get ace-like stuff from Webb. Now, for like a trying. But you didn't get ace-like stuff from Webb, and Ray followed up with a less than stellar performance. But Justin Verlander today, as he has done in his last few starts, 42 years old.
He's been their stopper.
Oh, man, right? Exactly. They needed a win, and he was the guy to get them to win. That's what I'm saying. You're getting ace-like behavior out of Justin Verlander when the Giants are desperate for anything positive from a pitching standpoint. 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, not an earned run at all. Justin Verlander was absolutely outstanding today.
And obviously proving that you can't take any team for granted, because this is supposed to be cakewalk. These are supposed to be the ones you can just notch in your belt. You're supposed to be worried about the Dodger games. These are not supposed to be games you're worried about. So, again, he comes in and pulls everybody's ass out the fire.
Yeah.
Go JV.
And listen, we got to be fair to the Arizona Diamondbacks, because they got themselves, by virtue of the 2 wins over the Giants to start this 3-game series, they got themselves back into the wild card race. As it stands right now, the Diamondbacks are 1.5 games out of that 3rd wild card spot, where the Giants, who are sitting at 76 and 76 right now, because the Padres beat the Mets 7-4, the Giants are 2 games back from that 3rd wild card spot, going on record 3 games back, because the Mets have the tiebreakers. So the Giants still in it, although, the percentages are not in their favor, and the Giants have 4 against the Dodgers coming up here quick, fast, and in a hurry. So the Giants have gotten themselves in a box here. Not only do you have to deal with the Dodgers again, who took 2 of 3 last weekend, but now the Diamondbacks are in the mix, and the Reds are also in the mix. So it's gotten jumbled. It's gotten real busy. The Giants still have a chance, and it's getting late early for them, but the appreciation of what Justin Verlander has done over his last few starts, I don't think, no matter what happens with the Giants here in this postseason, what we've gotten a chance to watch here from this guy who is going to walk directly into the Hall of Fame when he's done, what we've seen out of him over these last few starts has been nothing short of outstanding.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's killed it. This is what you get this veteran in here for. He's been through all the wars. He's seen every single situation imaginable. And here he is doing it for you. I guess the most discouraging thing for Giants fans has to be the fact that you're playing this Arizona team. You shouldn't take them lightly, but you should say, "Oh, we can beat these dudes." You can't. They're fighting for the same position you are, so it kind of seems, ugh.
Well, the bad old Giants have shown up.
Yeah,
4 out of these last 5 games where you're not getting the length out of your starting pitching. The bullpen is, and to be fair to the bullpen, they've lost some arms, and you do have guys who are gassed at this point in the season. But as they say, everybody is feeling, that same sort of pinch, if you will, at this time of the season. But what has really been a disappointment over these last few games, particularly the first 2 against the Diamondbacks, and this is where I say the bad Giants of July have shown up.
Yeah.
That you saw some very questionable approaches at the plate, and that was a hallmark of bad Giants play in July, to go along with not getting the pitching you needed from your starters and your relievers. And also the defense was getting back to comical for the Giants the first couple of games of the series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. So to see those bad tendencies show up again for the Giants at the absolute worst and most inopportune time, I was very disappointed to see that, because I thought that they had at least rectified the defense part of it. to
And you
see
have
them throw the ball around when
Yeah,
they can't afford to do that at a time where you cannot afford to do that was very disappointing to me.
you've got to wonder if they didn't lose focus a little bit, particularly after that Dodger series. Lose focus a little bit and come back down to earth and maybe feel a little bit sorry for themselves and allow that mental part to get in the way of things.
I don't know. I'm going to give them a little bit more respect just from a professionalism standpoint that they haven't gotten down on themselves or whatever. I think what they are, and I've said this before, 500 baseball teams record wise, and that's what the Giants are, and that's what they, even when they got hot, they could only get about 4 games above 500, and that still makes you, for all intents and purposes, a 500 team. And again, after today, they're 76-76. They are a true 500 team. That 500 baseball teams are the most maddening of all baseball teams.
Absolutely.
Because they're not as good as you think they can be, but they're not as bad as they seem to show far too often.
Yep.
And that's who the Giants are. And since that wonderful game last Friday against the Dodgers, with the Bailey walk-off home run and today's win, those games in between we've seen from the Giants, I think it's more representative of who they are.
Yep.
And maybe they played over their skis when they really got things going and were able to get themselves back to some sort of respectability in this wild card race that they find themselves now, out by 2 games, 3 games with the Mets tiebreaker.
I'm curious what the longest winning streak they've had this year is.
Oh gosh.
I'm assuming it has to have been recently, right?
I
know they were hot at the beginning of the year.
My guess would be no more than 5.
I'm curious about that.
That would be my guess. I'll see if I can look it up here while we're doing the show, or maybe one of our fine listeners, one of the quality hangers in the chat. If you guys wouldn't mind doing some homework for us, we would greatly appreciate that. It's just like being in high school again. What's the answer to number 12? So yeah, if somebody wouldn't mind doing the legwork on that, we would.
Oh my God, you hit me with a flood of memories right there. A flood of memories. Oh my God.
Let me cheat out your paper.
What you put for number 3? What you put for number 3? What you put?
I would like to thank all of the smart people that I sat next to in high school for getting me this far in life. I literally could not have done it without you. Before we move on this date, shout out to the Golden State Valkyries and shout out to their coach, Natalie Nakase, who is the 2025 WNBA Coach of the Year. Congratulations. It is well-deserved as the Valkyries, an expansion team, the first expansion team in the history of the WNBA to make it to the playoffs in their inaugural season. And they are battling right now against the Minnesota Lynx. 7:30 left to go in the third. And Valkyries, who are down 0-1 to the Minnesota Lynx, are up 47-34. We'll keep you updated. But I bring this up because obviously this is a great accomplishment and it should be celebrated whether you indulge in the WNBA or not. But here's what's interesting. And I don't normally get all exercised about these things. Unless you have something that a grave injustice has been done. But as I mentioned, Coach Nakase, Coach of the Year, Valkyries an expansion team, making the playoffs in their first year. And she was not a unanimous Coach of the Year.
I saw some hater shit, dude.
Awardee.
That's some hater shit. I'm sorry.
If she doesn't get all the votes, what are we doing?
But I don't think people really understand. This, not just the WNBA. This is the first time any expansion team has ever made the playoffs in its first year. Like, period.
Never happened. Never
happened before.
Never
not only did they do the unthinkable, which is finish at 500 or above, but they actually were good enough to make the playoffs. It's insane. That's not unanimous. Get out of here.
defies logic. That is for sure. But she was recognized for a job well done, and that is the most important thing. So definitely wanted to shout out Coach Nakase for the job that she did, and we will keep you updated on the goings on with the Valkyries as they are up now 50-34 with 6:35 left to go in the third.
Shocking
Period. Shall we do a little on this date? How are we feeling on this date? On this date?
Sure.
Good. Everybody wants to do some on this date. On this date, September 17th, all the way back in 1787.
Now we talking.
The Constitution of the United States of America was signed and became the law of the land
Now we
at the
talking.
conclusion of the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia, PA. Interesting that on this date, the Constitution became the law of the land, where we are now in a time where the Constitution seems to be sort of like not even a guideline, just like, whatever.
It's a group of suggestions.
Yeah. So,
oh my goodness.
I don't know if this is ironic, in the true sense, the true definition of the word ironic, or if this is Alanis Morissette's definition of the word ironic. But on this day, all the way back in 1787, the Constitution became the law of the land. And here we are in 2025, and the Constitution is looked at as, who gives a shit?
Maybe not. We'll see how it goes.
So there you go. All right, moving on. On this date in 1983,
now we're talking.
Timeless beauty Vanessa Williams became the first African American woman to be crowned Miss America.
Man, they did her dirty when them naked pictures came out.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
She gave up that. Now they would be, man. It's so weird how society changes. If those pictures came out now, they'd be offering her TV shows, movies, more record deals than anything. No. The exact opposite happened to her then than what happened to her now.
I could tell you what would happen if we found some naked pictures of the current Miss America. By the way, remember when we used to know who Miss America was?
Oh, absolutely.
No clue.
Absolutely.
Miss America could live in my neighborhood and I would have no idea. But if we found some naked pictures of Miss America these days, you know what would happen? She would immediately go on OnlyFans.
Absolutely.
Immediately go on OnlyFans.
Absolutely.
Tell me I'm wrong. I'm not.
She'd instantly have 3 million followers on all the socials, which mean that would catapult her into the front of the line for any film or television role she wanted. She'd probably get offered a record deal, the whole nine. She'd have her own makeup line, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, this is how it works these days.
Yeah.
That being said, please listen to Rod Brooks and Friends anywhere you are on social media.
So on this date, Vanessa Williams made history being the first Black woman to be crowned Miss America. She was forced to give up her title in 1984, as you see here on the screen if you are watching us on YouTube and X. But Vanessa Williams, she got the last laugh. What is the old saying? The best revenge is living well. Well, Vanessa Williams went on to become a star of a recording star, and also movies and television. And I haven't seen Vanessa Williams in a while, but I hope she is doing just fine, because Vanessa Williams is an American icon. And on this day, she became the first African-American woman to be crowned Miss America.
Let it go, Vanessa.
Way to go. On this date, am I going to do these in chronological order? I forget, it doesn't matter. On this date in 1991, Guns N' Roses, they succumbed to their own excesses. They released Use Your Illusion 1 and 2.
I remember this, man.
Not a double album.
Yeah,
they were completely and totally separate albums.
Yep.
You had to buy. You chose to either buy one, or like most people, you bought them both.
Yep.
this could have easily been one record, and it would have been a very, very good record, because I'm trying to remember what was on both of these albums. You Could Be Mine. I know it was on Use Your Illusion too. That was the one I listened to the most
I think you're not alone in
out
that.
of the two. But November Rain, Don't Cry, Knocking on
Rain.
Heaven's Door,
Ah,
Live and Let Die. They covered Paul McCartney and Wings,
those are
their
great.
Bond song. Oh, great songs
Those are
on
great.
both of these albums. It could have just been one album, but like I said, Guns N' Roses, who at the time were the biggest rock band in the world, they were at the height of their popularity. They succumbed to their own, and more than likely, it was probably Axl Rose's excesses and his arrogance that led Guns N' Roses to release both of these albums on this date in 1991.
Yeah, I mean, sure, everybody in the band had their demons, but the lead singer always has the worst demons.
Yes.
The lead always has the worst.
Yeah, for sure. But
they flamed quickly. I mean, not like they can't compare them to Nirvana, obviously, because Kurt Cobain's situation was different. They flamed very quickly.
You know, I've always said that, to me, the biggest shame of Guns N' Roses burning out as quickly as they did, and it was supposed to happen that way. It was just too much. It was just too.
I was about to say, you think it was just too much?
It was just way too goddamn much.
Yeah.
They were supposed to be, in my estimation, they were supposed to be our generation's Rolling Stones.
Mm-hmm.
They were supposed to be America's greatest rock and roll band.
Yep.
They were dangerous. They talked about sex. They talked about drugs. They fought amongst themselves, but all that chaos made for really good, kick-ass rock and roll music.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have been nice if they would have been able to sustain that white hot intensity that they had. It would have been nice if they would have been able to sustain it for, let's just say, 10 to 15 years, and give us more. Give us more albums, and they all didn't have to be Appetite for Destruction, but just give us more. But it was just too much too soon, and it all flamed out. And I say all that to say, in my estimation, that Guns N' Roses should have been our generation's Rolling Stones. That it really shines a light on how wild it is that the Rolling Stones are still the Rolling Stones.
I mean, they've outlasted every imaginable band.
Everybody but the Who. Everybody.
Imaginable.
Everybody. It's crazy.
I honestly, I have a theory about recording artists, in that, especially when you have a group like Guns N' Roses that comes out the box so hot, for a fact they haven't been through the trenches the way a band that's made 2 or 3 albums before that big one hits. Because by the time that 3rd or 4th album hits and they blow up, you kind of grown up, you matured some, you've been through ups and downs, you know how to weather the popularity, because usually these bands are already popular anyway. But when you come out that on fire right out the box, you don't know how to deal with that.
It was the thing that Eddie Vedder was so conflicted about. That Pearl Jam hit so big, so hard with 10, and it just got so out of control. He didn't know how to deal with it, but he was able to see it through. Nirvana, Cobain just couldn't handle it.
They were victims of it as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah.
So Guns N' Roses' story is not unique by any stretch of the imagination. I think they're different in that they really leaned into the excess and the rock and roll lifestyle, and lucky that it didn't kill them. Duff McKagan got himself clean. Axl Rose seems to be a fairly well-adjusted dude, considering that he's
relative too.
He's right. He's Axl Rose. Slash has morphed into being an old man. Yeah. Slash is still with us. I'm blanking on the drummer's name. He had himself a pretty Steven Adler had himself a pretty nasty heroin problem, but Steven Adler is still with us. But I'm just thinking about those times, or the times when Guns N' Roses was hot, and when they dropped both of these albums. They were big
Yeah, man.
as all get out.
Yep.
But like I said, this could have just been one album. You didn't need Use Your Illusion 1 and 2.
No, they could have saved it, and it actually probably could have saved
the band.
Yeah, I was just about
Yeah.
to could have saved it. Can you imagine, Rod? Like having your first, I think now Alanis Morissette comes to mind. Having that album be your very first album, and you literally know for a fact you'll probably never even get close to that again. The pressure to perform, especially as a brand new act and a woman rock artist.
Yeah.
So
that pressure has unfortunately killed quite a few people.
Amen. Literally and figuratively.
Yeah. It's killed careers, and it's ended lives. And the former is the saddest part about it. But that's the entertainment world. On this date, Guns N' Roses, they dropped Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 on this date in 2004. Barry Lamar Bonds got one step closer to history.
For Bonds. Bonds hits one to left center field. He hits it well. Let's go back. It is out of here. Number 700 for Barry Bonds. Aaron, Ruth, and now Bonds, the 700 home run club. As Bonds steps on home plate, and listen to this crowd.
My apologies for not cropping this video. On this date, Barry Bonds hit home run number 700 as his march towards Hank Aaron hit a very...
Were you in the city when Barry first got there? I think you were.
When he first got to the Giants?
Yeah.
So, no, I didn't move into 97. He got to the Giants in
93, 94?
92 or 93. I forget exactly.
I think it was 93. I think because he was with the Pirates.
Yes.
He was with the Pirates, and I was interning at KNBR his first year. So it had to be like 93 or 94. Mm-hmm. That's crazy, dude. Oh, man.
Yeah. When he got to 700, that's when I was like, oh, this is about to happen.
Yeah.
Sure. 500 is a massive milestone.
Yeah.
But 500 is still a long, long way from 756.
Sure.
Then he got to 600. That's great.
He piled them up fast.
Once he got to 600, he just mashed the gas. And then he got to Willie at 660. Like, okay, all right, this is something. But still, 660 is a long way away. I don't care how many you're hitting. It's still because I'd never seen it before, I couldn't fathom that it could happen. So in my mind, 660 is a long, long way, and a lot can happen between that and 756.
Yeah.
Then he got to 700 on this date in 2004. And I, of course, like dumb me, I'm like, oh, he might actually pull this off. Clearly, he was able to pull it off in August of 2000 and August in 2005.
I mean, remember when 300 home runs was a milestone?
Oh man! Well, that was, like I said, 500. Remember when 500, and it's still a thing. Don't get me wrong. Somebody hits 500 home runs right now, even with baseball.
Aaron Judge,
right? But like 500, 700.
Crazy, dude.
756?
Crazy.
Come on, dog.
Crazy.
Come on, man. By the way, opposite field shot, and shout out Jake Peavy. Nice guy. Had some real nice, human conversations with him. Really nice dude. I'm going to play this again. And again, sorry for not cropping this video for better quality. But Jake Peavy, brother, what you throwing up here, dog? Come on, man. You better than that, Jake. Man. Look at this frisbee that Bonds just sits on and waits on, and then
he's like, you know what? I know you're gonna hit this out anyway. I'm just
to left center. Back. Come on, bruh. Now it was on the outer half of the plate, so it did take some extension from Bonds, who never goes outside of his comfort zone. But that also shows you the strength of Bonds for him to be able to go out and get that pitch, even if it didn't have a lot on it. But for him to go out over the plate to get that pitch and then deposit that bad boy in the left center. That's a strong man doing that right there.
Wow. So I'm looking at like Aaron Judge is destroying baseball right now, and no one's paying attention.
Well, so I mean,
Crazy.
so
His numbers are insane.
He's in a fight with Cal Raleigh, catcher for the Mariners, who is probably going to get that single season home run record. I mean, we still have a couple of weeks left, and the Mariners are in a fight with the Astros for AL West supremacy. They actually lost tonight, so the Astros are up a half a game. So Raleigh still has some big swings and big games coming up. I think that there is that, and also we're just kind of used to Aaron Judge doing home run stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he's almost at 400 home runs, dude.
Yeah,
he got a hum 48 home runs this year, a 326 back.
But that's the thing.
It's crazy.
48 home runs is a crazy number.
It's crazy.
Raleigh's in the high 50s, and Judge has already been at this big home run number total before, to where, he broke the American League single season home run record. What was it, 2 or 3 years ago? So I think Judge is unfortunately a victim of his own success. Also, it's football season, so individual baseball statistics kind of get lost in the shuffle unless you're doing stuff like what Barry did on this date back in 2004 when he hit number 700. But also, when it comes to Judge, again, we've seen him do this before. It's just not that impressive. What Ohtani is doing is getting a lot of people's attention. What Judge is doing, okay, that's great.
Yeah.
What are you going to do in the postseason? He's got the same sort of rap Judge does that Bonds had.
Yep.
All these numbers are great, but Judge in the postseason
ain't doing it. Ain't doing it.
Not getting people excited at all.
No, not at all. I mean, and also this tells you how far baseball has fallen in the public eye, because 20 years ago, guys having these years, this is still top of the headline news, especially at the beginning of the football season. This is what everybody's talking about.
This is
October. Come on.
This is nothing that any of these men should be ashamed of.
Absolutely.
But Bonds and Sosa and McGuire kind of ruined it, in terms of us getting really excited about guys hitting home runs and getting close to milestones. You have to reach that milestone and pass it, as Judge did when he broke the American League single season home run record a couple of years ago. But when you're Judge and you hit 48 home runs, again, that is a milestone feat. That ain't got no motion as far as people are concerned, because we've seen it before. We've seen 72 in a season.
It's such a trip because as sports fans, they do tend to get a little bit complacent. Think of things like this as, oh, you know what, Jerry Rice, another 15 touchdown season. We've seen that before. Oh, Steph Curry gets another 353s. Oh, we've seen it before. Like, no, y'all, this is some crazy shit. Like, this doesn't happen.
What did Janet Jackson say? What have you done for me lately?
Amen, bro.
We're getting so much. We have every song at our fingertips, every television show and movie at our fingertips. We can watch any game we want to. Entertainment is still big business. It's still important to us, not just us, but to people. But it's not as what's the word I'm looking for? Because we can access it as much as we want, whenever we want.
Yeah.
It's lost its specialness. You know what I mean?
Well, it's one of those things that the joy of sports is that it's still one of the few things that you can watch live. You want to watch live as it unfolds. But generally speaking, we were headed this way anyway, but I think that COVID accelerated this. But folks get their entertainment a la carte now. And it's no longer the shared experience that it used to be. And now it's, you go ahead and watch that game over there. I'm gonna go ahead and watch this game over here, or you go watch that movie over there. I'm gonna watch this movie over here on my phone. Like, it's no longer the shared experience, and that you need other things to entice folks to come out to the ballpark, or to come to the theater, or to come to a Broadway show, or whatever. But it's such a personalized situation now in terms of entertainment.
And there's so much to choose from to where it gets overwhelming that it's impossible for something that is not wildly spectacular to break through all of the entertainment options you have, which is why Aaron Judge getting close to 50 home runs just don't move the needle. It's a great accomplishment without a doubt. But because there is so much that you could choose from and so much that he has done before, it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Whatever. And because, we are just getting entertainment just almost out of a fire hose, it seems, where there's just so much being offered to us, and there's so much to choose from, that when we have a discussion about it, it's almost become sort of a binary thing of it's either the greatest thing you've ever seen or it's the worst thing you've ever seen. There is no middle ground of, hey man, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's to the point now where we talk about something being mid. And that's a bad thing, where mid is perfectly acceptable. Perfectly normal. But because normal doesn't necessarily move the needle, if it doesn't move the needle at all, normal is just looked at as bad, or the somewhat spectacular is looked upon as, well, yeah, it could be better. Like, it's crazy how we've gotten to that point. But as you mentioned, it's a lot of it, if not all of it, is due to the fact that we can watch and consume anything we want anytime we want.
Everything is personalized, dude.
Everything.
And the way we now have this attention economy, and the way people consume things is not with the intention of enjoying whatever it is we're consuming, but with the intention of getting attention for talking about whatever it is we're consuming.
And if it doesn't entertain you in the way that you wanted it to entertain you, then the problem is with the entertainment and not with your expectations. That's wild. That's crazy. So there you go. On this date, September 17th. Again, the Constitution was signed on this date in 1787. Vanessa Williams crowned Miss America, the first Black woman to be crowned Miss America in 1993. Guns N' Roses releasing Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 different albums in 1991. Want to talk about something that'll never happen again. That will never happen again. And Barry Bonds hit home run number 700 on his way to baseball home run immortality. He did that, Barry Bonds, on this date, September 17th, all the way back in 2004. Real quick, Valkyries update, 7:33 left in game 2 of their best of 3 series against the Minnesota Lynx. The Lynx up 1-0. It is getting tight. Valkyries 63, the Lynx 56. Before we get out of here, as always, we end the show with the best thing that I've seen today, and it stars Terrence Bud Crawford. Fresh off of doing the improbable, which is going up a couple of weight classes, beating Canelo Alvarez, taking his belts, taking his super middleweight titles. And now that Bud Crawford has climbed that mountain, he is enjoying the fruits of his labor, and he's just out there right now living his best life. Bud Crawford was at the Raider Charger game on Monday night. He's been on the talk show circuit, and now he's just chilling and going out and playing some pickup basketball, and detailing how he is out there on the court like he is in the ring, kicking ass and taking names.
Y'all see me? I had to come in here and run the court. They mad. What? They ran the court. Can you that TBC force? Yeah, y'all lost. Y'all lost. I'll take one. He lost. I had on somebody's side. He lost. He didn't. I liked it. He didn't score 8 points. He mad. He mad. He lost a couple of times. He mad. Hey. He didn't score 8 bucket on me. No. Don't do that. Hey. And then this guy, he played for the USA, and I still scored. You said I wasn't gonna score.
So many things here. First and foremost, the joy in his voice, turning the phone around and going to all the guys who he beat on the basketball court, and all those guys sitting there like, yeah, man, you got it. Because what are you going to say to a guy who beats people up for a living and just showed 50 million people worldwide how good he is at beating up people by beating up one of the best to ever do it when it comes to the sport of beating up people? How do you guard a guy who has put on tape a resume of beating the shit out of people and doing it with a smile on his face?
Man,
right?
Look,
you can't play basketball with a guy like that.
I love that he's talking crazy. I love it. I love somebody talking crazy, boy.
Talking mad crazy. And every single one of those guys are like, you got it, dog. Because what are you going to do? Get in his face and say something? No.
I beat you. I beat you. I beat you.
You got it, dog.
You didn't score a point. Man, I love that. Did you talk crazy when you was hooping, Rod?
Not really.
No,
because I mean, to me, it was kind of like a wasted energy type thing. And also, I didn't want to run my mouth and because listen, I was always taught you don't know who you really messing with. And this is not just a basketball thing. This is a life thing. Okay.
This is facts.
And you might talk crazy to somebody, and that somebody might decide that they have had enough of your talking crazy, and then they might want to fight. And as you can tell, I ain't necessarily the fighting type, right?
All the time it happens.
I ain't no chump. Don't start none, won't be none. But I'm not gonna run out there and run my mouth and then like, okay, put them up. We're gonna box. It's because you might run across somebody like Terrence Crawford, who just out there getting some shots up at 24-hour fitness, and then next thing you know, you talking crazy, and then you getting that 3-piece wang dinner with a biscuit. No, I don't want none of that. I don't want none of that at all.
I put it this way. I didn't start out talking. However, if you started out talking and I started murdering you, you definitely gonna hear me. You're probably not gonna shut me up.
Marcus said you're gonna get this work.
Oh boy, what you say earlier is success is sweetest form of revenge, baby.
I don't hear you talking now.
Man, boy, it feels so good to quiet some of these suckers, and especially when it's like, it's always that dude who come on the court. Usually he got his whole fucking fit on like he just cut from a team.
Yeah.
That dude out there talking, doing the craziest moves that you see him working out, and like none of that shit's working. None of that's gonna work. Then you get out there and he talking crazy, then all of a sudden you get a few on him. You're like, okay, I'm gonna join the talking game. I got a few in the back pocket. I'm gonna throw on you as soon as we get into this.
I wonder. I'm sure Terrence Crawford talks a metric tons worth of shit on the court because again, who's gonna step to him? No one. I bet he plays basketball like he boxes. I guarantee you he's very technical. Probably. But when it comes time to add a little physicality to his game, he has absolutely no problem with doing that. And how do you call fouls against this guy?
Foul?
You don't.
Terrence, is that a foul? Is that cool if I get
Hey, Terrence, let me ask you a question here real quick. Do you think you fouled me when I went to the basket? You don't? Okay, you know what? I don't either.
I'm just checking. I felt like it was, but if you say, I take your word.
Yeah, man, yeah. Hey, you know what, brother? That was a clean block. That was a clean.
No, it's all right. I got another eye. I just go to the doctor and get this.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. No,
Yeah, no. I'm bleeding in my chest, but you got it, dog. You got it.
It don't hurt. It don't hurt.
Yeah. I think it would be he would be a very tough cover to like guarding an undefeated world champion boxer.
Mm-hmm.
My guess is that it's difficult to do. But Terrence Crawford out there giving people buckets and talking shit in the process, that was the best thing I've seen today, without a doubt.
Preach.
Without a
Love
doubt.
it.
That's enough of the Wednesday edition of Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and friends. As always, we end the show by thanking, he tried to say in English, our presenting sponsor, the fine folks at Hop Monk Taverns, 3 locations to choose from. Check them out online at hopmonk.com. Better yet, stop into one of their 3 locations in Sonoma, Sebastopol, or in Novato. Hungry? Oh, the food's great. Thirsty? Craft beer selection is absolutely out of this world. Do you feel the need to be entertained by strangers? Well, they have the places for you. All 3 spots, all 3 Hop Monks have fantastic venues where you can see touring artists from around the country, local artists especially, or you can just go there for trivia night or for country line dancing night. Or I believe I mentioned this at the top of the show. One of the locations has a Bob Marley tribute coming up later on this week. So check them out online at hopmonk.com and definitely stop by one of the locations if you happen to be